Now I've lost everything. That's interesting. Ah, well, good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening. We are live in Birmingham, actually, on First Friday live at 5. And if you can hear, there's an alarm going on. The reason for that is because, well, I'm late for a very important date. And the date is now, and the time is now. And we were live, well, 5 seconds ago. Look, I'd never like to let people down. So I have been travelling from Wales this afternoon. I've arrived at my hotel, and for some reason there's an alarm going off. So let's hope there's no bomb scares or people being murdered. There's lots of children running around, so that's good. And it's good to see you. I'm MJ Lace, and we are here on First Friday live at 5. And it's Friday, and it's the first one, and that we're live, and that it's 5. And that's how we got here. And it always helps me remember, because I think to myself, oh, pinch punch the first of the month. And then I think, oh, I know what's going to happen on Friday. Please do excuse me, people, while I just plug myself in here. So I just got here literally about 3 minutes ago. But I'm pleased to say that I have the most fantastic team around me who prepare this studio like an absolute boss. And well, they've done it all for me. So I could have been late for a very important date, but I wasn't. And actually, if you do know where else we are live often, on a Monday morning, which was the title of the room on Monday morning, interestingly enough, late for a very important date. Last Monday, the replay is available on Clubhouse. You'll also find it on YouTube. You might also find it on Facebook. Just have a look around LinkedIn. You'll probably see me in a few places. And today, we are live in our StreamYard studio. We're live on Facebook. We're live on LinkedIn. And we're live on YouTube again. So I am so excited to introduce you to my guest today. I have the most amazing guest today. And I'm just waiting to check that I've got some questions in my chat. I maybe haven't. I might need a little bit of help. But I know what the first one is. So I'm gonna wait for them to arrive in my WhatsApp and hope that this might just be an ad lib hour. You never know. Oh, and here she pops. My new guest, our latest guest, and you have come. Good evening, Laifa. You have come alongside, well, after some great people. We have had some amazing guests on First Friday Live at 5. We've had Steve Brown, who was a Paralympian and a TV presenter. We've had Mr. Peter Cohen. He's an international superstar, stage speaker, coach, and author of 20 books. So I feel honoured to even interview those people, and I'm honoured to see you today. So good evening, and thank you. I know you've had some difficulty this afternoon, but you still made it here for First Friday Live at 5. So thank you for being here. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much, MJ. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Good, me too. And we're going to be together for, well, I hope an hour, unless the police come and send me somewhere else because we're having a crisis or an emergency. But so far, I think we've got, well, 55 minutes together, which is never long enough. It
Yeah.
feels really a long time when you first begin. You think, what am I going to say for 55 minutes? And then we get to the top of the hour and we've not even got to the end of the questions, I can tell you. So it's true. And the first question really could probably last an hour, but I'm hoping you might not last an hour with the first question. Thank you for that engine or whatever somebody's doing, moving a train around the corner or something. Yeah, so if you can't hear me or if there's a lot of background noise, please do forgive me. That's what you get with live anything, isn't it? You have to go with the flow. So,
Yeah.
Leifa, the first question really is, who is Leifa? Big question, lot to answer. But if I was to ask you to do that, in an elevator, and maybe I sound American now, maybe a 5-minute job on who is Leifa, because I know who you are. My wonderful backstage crew know who you are because they were here before me. But who are you? Because nobody else knows who you are, I don't think. Not my audience, anyway.
I don't think so. Anyways, for the purpose of this interview, my name is Laifa Ayemieye, and
Leifa.
I my Sorry about that. My name is Laifa Ayemieye, and I would say professionally, I'm an accountant at
That's
my core.
amazing.
So I, being an accountant, practiced for a couple of years, about 6, 7 years before I got into this country 12 years ago. And since then, I've worked in auditing, I've worked in finance, and I also, other than my career, I have a 6 year old son who is very as active as any 6 year old can be. He's a boy and he's amazing and he puts so much joy in my life. But at the moment, I'm trying to run my business. I offer accounting services to small businesses because the normal 9 to 5 are not equipped for people like me. So I tend to give back because I have loads of experience in finance, accounting, and most accounting software. There is nothing in accounting regarding the software I can manage. So since I cannot do a normal 9 to 5 without putting my life at risk, I decided to set up a small business to help give my skills to people who need them. So that's what I do at the moment. It's not where I would like it to be, but I'm enjoying it. It gives me time to sit back and be there for my child and also be there to take care of myself without it being overwhelming or being in the hospital on a regular basis. So it prevents me to be in the hospital 4 times a month and it also helps me to manage my time effectively the way I want and I can walk anywhere and do anything I want at my own time. I'm from a large family as well. I'm from a family of 10. I'm
Wow.
the sixth child. Got 3 girls and 7 boys. So based on that, you can tell I'm a very strong person. I wouldn't be here today without my mother. So and without God, I'm a Christian and I'm a firm believer of my faith. And in as much I face challenges now and again on a regular basis, I still stay strong. And I'm grounded in that because I have something to fight for. And my son is someone I'm willing to fight for and make myself, no matter how bad I am on a normal day, to show up for people if I can help in any way and show up for my son. And that drives me even more. So, in a long, short shell or a long shell, that's me.
Well, I'm gonna just come in on that because I can't hear all of that without giving you some retort. Look, I know a little about you, and I'm telling you now. The reason I said that it's fantastic that you're an accountant is my worst nightmare. Your job is my worst nightmare. If somebody said to me, "What's the worst job that anybody could make you do?" It would be accountancy. I am dyscalculic. So I can get the wrong place on the wrong date at the wrong time in the wrong column in the wrong diary for the wrong person with the wrong Google Meet. Yeah, yeah, really. There. I can do mental arithmetic, but as far as accounts and profit and loss accounts and how much we pay for VAT. The first time I heard I had to register with the VAT man, I said I don't want anything to do with him. I've heard that he's a terrible man. I don't think I want anything to do with him. So my accountant assured me that the VAT man was not terrifying, but I personally don't want anything to do with him. It's not that I don't like the HMRC. I'm quite happy that they exist. I just don't want to have to kind of, work out the numbers. And
I,
I always think they want a bit too much numbers. That's what I think, Laifa. They
yeah,
all want too many numbers. That's
yeah,
what I think. And then, of course, you moved on to say that not only are you a mum, which I'm a mum of three. Three I made, two I fostered, and 101 in Uganda, I always say. So, I mean, you have one, I have 106. I'm not in a competition
yeah.
with you, I can assure you. But I'm afraid God looked down and said to me, actually, this time, dear, you're gonna work for your money. So yeah, 106. But of all of my children, my firstborn, my eldest, who is actually his birthday is in 2 days. 2 days.
Wow.
Um, yeah. I am so proud of. I mean, all of my children I'm proud of, right? Because they might be listening in. So I'm going to say that, yeah. Uh, all 100, all 100 and all 106 of them. I love you all. And you know I do. But there's nothing like your firstborn. You know,
Yeah.
being a mum for the
Yeah.
first time. Well, I'll tell you what I said when my son was born and he was put into my arms. I went, oh, it's a baby. That's what I said. I said, it's a baby. I couldn't believe that my body had managed to make a whole human and that
Human.
it had come out in one piece with eyes and ears and a voice and movement and being alive. And I mean, I was just fascinated by the concept that from me came that, right? So for me, it was I mean, what did I think I was doing when I was pregnant? I'm not really sure. But the shock of having a whole human come out of me and it be a human was just flabbergasting. And then I remember in the hospital looking around at the midwives and the people at the desk thinking, do they actually know I don't know what I'm doing? I was a trained nursery nurse. I was a trained nursery nurse, but I saw this human and thought, I literally don't know what he wants. I don't know what he is. I've never met him. I don't know how he talks. I don't know how he asks for things. I don't know how he doesn't ask for things. Oh, goodness me. This is overwhelming. Maybe I won't be very good at it. Maybe I'm all right at looking after other people's children, but maybe I won't know what to do. And I remember putting my finger into his, I called it a propagator. You know, those clear cots that they have. Same thing as when you garden. I was a gardener. I was like, you put him in a propagator. I put my finger into the cot, and he grabbed hold of it, and that was it. You know, that was me. Love at first sight, skin to skin. First time I fed him. I mean, my heart was won. I was over, and since you know, for the last 34 years, I have relentlessly, tirelessly, 24 hours a day, worked for their greater good. So you and I as mums, and I didn't come from a big family. I have one brother, thankfully, and I thank the Lord. I do thank the Lord that I didn't come from a big family because I had enough on with one brother, to be honest. He was far too difficult for me to manage, and he was 4 years older than me. You know, I've not done well with the whole sibling management. So hats off to you for being a girl amongst 10 and having all of those men around you, all of those growing boys. Because, well, I used to suffocate him. I used to sit on his head and he'd shout at my mum, 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 tell her. And she'd say, Tell her, be told now. And I'd just laugh at him and say, You're still breathing. Don't worry about it. So I was probably a bit of a bully, really, because he was bigger than me. I think I just needed to be in control. But yeah, you know, one brother, nobody else, quite a small family, and that's all there is now. Me and my bro. So my parents have gone, my grandparents have gone, and family to me is very important. Hence, I think I collected 106 children. Right.
Yeah.
I think you always want what you haven't got. Yeah.
Exactly.
So you're an accountant, a small business owner, somebody who understands that ill health and disability is not defining of you, but it definitely changes your life. You know, as you know, I'm chronically, as what they'd say, chronically sick and disabled. But you know what? I'm neither chronic nor disabled. In fact,
Disabled. Yeah.
I'm less disabled than most able-bodied people, to be fair. And I find you exactly the same. But we do have to be, and these are the things I think, and you can comment on these in a moment for me. I think we have to, well, I'll tell you what, in fact, I'll ask you, because we're just going to do this as it is. We're just going to do it as it is. My question for you here is, what skills do you think I mean, you've alluded to one, which is, you know, strong, right? What skills do you think a person, just any person, but definitely a disabled person, needs to have to be? And well, I don't call us entrepreneurs, right? In inclusion, which is our charitable organisation, we call us ultrapreneurs. So, in order to be an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur, what skills and attributes do you think you've had to foster?
I think for one, you need to be patient with yourself. You don't, over the years, when you're being told you can do certain things because of your health, you can do this because of your health, then you have to look at yourself and you need to know who you are. and where you want to be. And growing up, my mother sat me one day and told me, because I decided not to go to school after I had issues with my hip, I couldn't walk for a very long time, about 5 to 6 years. I was on crutches and wheelchair. I couldn't walk, and I never thought I would walk again. And I decided not to go to school because when I fell sick, I was supposed to go to a government school. I was excited about that, but when my health happened, I had to be sent to a private university that is very inclusive, not so big to stress me out about the lectures and the classes. So by then, it felt like I became confined. I wasn't happy. For 2 years, I didn't go to church. I didn't say prayer because the question was, why me? But then my mother sat me down and told me, I'm from a very well educated family. The girls who like to study, the boys, they are into businesses and they succeed. And me and my sister, we succeed. She's a PhD holder. But she sat me down and told me, you have to go to school. You can do it. If the other children, your brothers and sisters, can do it, then you can do it. I'm not telling you to go make me a first class or to be the top of your class, but I want you to finish everything you start. And that was the day I decided that nothing is going to stop me. I have teachers in school who have told me I use my health as an excuse. And over the years, that's what I've been told. And sometimes you look at yourself and ask yourself, is that who I really am? But they won't get it because they don't walk in your shoes. And I tell people, if you walk in my shoes a little bit, you're going to have internal bleeding because I walk on broken glasses and sharp needles. So I would say, first of all, I need to know who I am. I've learned to understand my health condition, what works for me and what doesn't work for me, what I can do at a certain time and what I can't do. I don't do too much at a time because I know I won't succeed. But trust me, I've become very, what's the word I'm looking for? So independent, so into my own self that people think I don't listen to anyone else. I'm my own boss. There is anything that will face me now in life that will make me shake up my walls, that will shake up my walls. I've come to that experience where I'm not supposed to survive, but I have survived. People tell me somebody must be watching you, someone up there must be watching over you. I never thought I'd be able to have a child because relationship, because of my health, has never been successful. So I told myself, if relationship is not going to be successful, I'm going to focus on me. And that's exactly what I did. If I'm meant to have a child when it's time, it will happen. And that's exactly what happened. So over the years, the sort of skills I have attained to put me where I am is confidence in myself. You have to have confidence. You have to listen to people, people like me. It doesn't mean just people with sickle cell only, people with different health conditions who struggle on a daily basis because I like to talk to people and learn from them and what they are going through and talk to them about myself. I'm resilient. I get ideas from other people, what they do that works for them and what doesn't work for them. So I'm very independent. I'm very, very opinionated. I'm very bold. You know, for someone like us, we need to be bold because we need to make people listen. A lot of people don't listen. So, in order for them to listen, we need to stand our ground and say, this is who I am and this is who I want to be. I can achieve this and I'm going for it. If it takes me 2 years, I don't care, but I will finish everything I start. And that's my modem and that's what I've stood by. And today I have two master's degree, accounting and finance, in management. I've done several levels of professional qualifications, and there is no thing in my field that I want to do that I cannot do because you have to believe in yourself. Because if you don't, nobody will believe in you. You first of all believe in yourself before people will start believing in you. And once you believe in yourself, the sky is your limit. There is nobody telling you. If I get down sometimes, likewise every other person, but I need to deal with it in here. If I'm not telling myself up here, I'm okay, then everything else is not okay.
I tell you what, I couldn't have had a more comprehensive answer. And let me tell you, I'm learning things about you tonight that I didn't realize we had in common, such as I was not ever meant to have children. You know, every time I got pregnant, they told me not to stay pregnant. And I can remember them saying to my husband, "You're going to have to tell her that it's unsafe for her to carry to term." And he said, "Well, you can go and tell her, and I'd like to watch." Because as I said to them, I'm afraid that you're not God. God will
Yeah.
decide if my child lives, and
Yeah.
God will decide if I live. And
Yeah.
I understand you're a doctor that needs to look after me, and that my child is not yet your concern, but we're not God, and God will decide. So thank you very much for your idea, but that won't be happening. And by the way, I don't want an endometriosis, endometriosis, whatever. What do they call it? When they check for Down syndrome, it's not that. I have endometriosis. It's anyway, whatever it is. Do you want to check whether your baby's got anything wrong with them? And I'm like, no, 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 because I've been given the baby I need.
Yeah.
If my baby has disabilities, then guess what? Then we'll be quite similar. So hey, why would I throw somebody like me away? Don't be ridiculous. If God means me to have a child with disabilities, that's what I'll have. But even if you found out, and I did, that I would do nothing. So there's no point in risking it. So I decided my lot was my lot. Whenever God gave me the grace to become pregnant, and resilience, which is what you're talking about, the idea that you are confident in yourself, that you speak you speak your truth, and you speak it um, loudly, in order that people listen. Absolutely. People don't listen because we're so busy these days in running and hustling and pushing and shoving, and trying to be the better than the next, have a bigger car, a bigger house, a bigger whatever, a bigger dog. I don't know what they do, you know. Um, oh, look, my dog's bigger than yours. Good, I'm pleased. Whatever it is, this hustle and bustle
Culture.
economy,
Yeah.
yeah, culture, it is really damaging, I think. But what that means is that if you are a person with disabilities, or a person of color, or a woman, or any kind of intersectionality, actually, age, if you're an older woman, really anyone except a white stale middle class male, actually, if you're not that, then you're going to have to speak up and speak loud and be proud and be confident in who you are and what you stand for. And
Yeah.
what I hear from you is that you stand for being there for emerging businesses who probably have a great idea. And we have lots of entrepreneurs, which is why I'm pleased to bring you here today, and entrepreneurs, and they all need an accountant. They all need somebody to do their books. Literally, I don't know any of them that want to do that themselves. I've not met one that goes, no, no, MJ, I really must always only me do my finances. They're literally going, who, where can I, who will I, where can I put this? Because, entrepreneurs are often creative and numbers are creative, but those entrepreneurs are often artists or performers, or or myself, of course, somebody that supports disabled people in health, education, work, training, and life. I'm an all-round just person helper, right? That's what Accessibility Partners does. And I've got another question, and it's not in the list, so you're gonna have to be as good as you are at being interviewed, which, by the way, is superb. I've
Thank
had
you.
some, as I told you, I've had some big names on here, and I have to say you are giving them a run for their money, my love. Um, Especially as you didn't have these questions. But I think when a conversation goes naturally, and it's built on genuine curiosity, I think then actually it becomes a much better gig. So my question that's arising for me really is that, I've got all these entrepreneurs, they all want to start in business. And of course, it's difficult for disabled people to get a job. In fact, when we do get a job, as you alluded to, difficult for the 9 to 5. But most disabled people who do get a job, do you know the job only lasts a year or at the most two? Because generally, employers will take somebody on, realize the reasonable and the beyond reasonable adjustments that are needed, and they really think, oh, this is a bit bigger than I thought. So often people will not manage the culture because they've never had a disabled person. For example, I'm in Birmingham today because I'm coming to Birmingham in September to finish my training as a social worker. And the reason I'm coming here is because there's no accessible placements in Wales, in the whole
Yeah.
of Wales, the whole of the country. And then in
Wow.
Birmingham, in the project that I'm coming to, I'm the first wheelchair using social work trainee in the 16-year project. So
That's
is,
amazing.
isn't it nice to be a minority? Isn't it nice to be a
It's
woman that's doing
amazing.
something first?
Yes.
And I'm also in a minority because from my observations, I think there's only about 20% of the cohort that are white. So I'm in a minority. I'm not in the minority gender, but I'm definitely in a minority for disability. But the directors of this project have said, look, we don't know what we're doing. We're not going to suggest we know what we're doing. We haven't had a disabled social worker in a wheelchair before, but we're willing and we're open and we want to learn how. And you're the expert. So, please help us. And that kind of open and honest and transparent communication really resonates with me. It helps me feel a great deal of confidence and respect in those ladies. So hats off to the project that knows I'm coming in just a few weeks, which is why we find ourselves outside my hotel here today, because I'm here to see the accommodation I'm going to have and meet a few people and go to one of my entrepreneurs events tonight, who has one of their gigs. They're a performer, and I'm going along to see them at work because I think that the work I do, which for those that are listening, the reason that we know each other. Are you happy for me to share where we know each other?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. So
Yeah.
both of us receive and apply for a program of discretionary support. It's not required by the government. It's discretionary, called Access to Work, and Access to Work has helped me throughout my life go to work, remain at work, and get those beyond reasonable adjustments that no employer should have to do. So a reasonable adjustment for people listening are things like a desk, a chair, a work machine. But a beyond reasonable adjustment for those that are listening is things like a wheelchair that I can take on rough terrain, or
Yeah.
a second screen because I'm dyslexic, or screen masking because I have scotopic sensitivity, which is why I have slightly tinted glasses, or assistive software I speak into it and it types, all sorts of things, and we both are beneficiaries of that scheme, and that's what Accessibility Partners does, right? We help people apply for those beyond reasonable adjustments, and we do that as well through our coaching, and our coping strategy support is how I first met you, because we provide that from the date of application, and we're the only organisation in the UK, as far as I'm aware. Please do get in me on the DMs and email me or contact me on one of these marvelous streaming services if you do know of an organisation that helps from the day of application, because we don't. In fact, what we know, Laifa, is that most people who get coaching, whether it's ADHD coaching or coping strategy support coaching, um, they have to pay in advance to these coaching organizations for each hour. And then they have to get the very big job of trying to get that money back through the Access to Work scheme. And it can take up to 16 to 20 weeks for some people. And it's a terrible job on your own. And it's why I have an amazing staff group who, in the background, telephone Access to Work every day to make sure that you get what you need when you need it in the way you need it, and that you can get through that process, effectively. So, I mean, it's not perfect. There's 66,000 cases being waited to be heard. There's 33,000 payments waiting to be made at my last count, and that's in Access to Work in the UK. And every day they are changing their standard operating procedures because of there being so many people to apply. So I'm not suggesting you've had a perfect journey, but I would really love to hear, for you to tell other people as well. How has your journey been with Accessibility Partners, and would you Would you suggest people come, or do you think they should run a mile?
Thanks for that. Before I became aware of your organization, I never knew anything like that existed. So I never knew I could be able to have support to do something for me that supports my health and makes me free to do what I want without being worried of how my bills are going to be paid without me going to work. Because if I do the normal 9 to 5, half of the time I'm unwell. So if I have to go to work just 5 days a month, I get paid just 5 days a month. And it's always been a struggle for me because I've always put my health at risk working because I have to provide for myself, and you don't pay the bills, you know what happens. So I glad that I came across you and your organization, and I'm hoping and willing and praying that other people come on here to sort of experience what they can do, because a lot of people like us, they have so much to give.
Oh,
And because a lot
absolutely.
of people don't tend to talk about their experiences as because of their condition due to the stigma it carries along with it. They tend to take a back seat. And no, I know a lot of people, I have few friends who don't like talking about their conditions because the more they talk about it, some people don't even know, their very close friends don't know they have this condition. But I'm from a large, depending on where you're from, but where I'm from, is a huge stigma. People with the genotype of AA or AS can see you and be telling you things like you should be grateful you someone ever gets married to you, or you should be grateful to ever be in a relationship, or you should be grateful you are not dead. I was told once by someone who wanted to marry me by the father that I will this one will never get married to me because I'm gonna die at 40, because they had a cousin who had sickle cell and died at 40. I wasn't pained because I knew the country I'm from, it's possible for you to even die way earlier than that. And people have this misconception about sickle cell that when you get to 25, you outgrow it. I don't know what research they've done or where they have the answers to back what they're saying, but it's all false. And a lot of people still live in denial up to date about sickle cell and what has it and how long you live with it. They think you just a snap of the finger. It's like telling someone your blood type is D, and you wake up tomorrow, or when you get to 10, your blood type changes from that to a different blood type. I don't know the magic that does that. So it's like telling someone with sickle cell, oh, when you get to 25, it's like telling someone you will not be born. It's unheard of, you know. So I think a lot of people have a lot to give. So it's we see the good that they come on this platform and know about your organization and how you can help them with access to work and how they can start something for themselves. And as a result, reach out to many people as they can, because sickle cell is out there, but up to date, I tell you, not a lot of people have a clue about it. And even if they do, they don't really know how it affects us. In the hospital, they call us we're rude, we scream too much. I have been refused treatment in the hospital because I wasn't screaming enough. And I almost lost my life for it. So it would be good to see people like me, people with health conditions. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. There are days I can't get up from bed, not because I don't want to, because I physically can't. Apart from sickle cell, I have loads of other health conditions that the sickle cell have triggered. If I have a flu, I respond differently to someone who don't have any health condition. It might take me more than 2 months to recover, and in that 2 months, my immune system is breaking down. So anything, and my son goes to school, so anything he catches from school comes to me. If my immune system is dead, I will get the grip of everything. So I know sometimes it's difficult for people with health disability to do something for themselves, but I will tell them you don't need to prove anything to anybody. You don't need to prove anything to your family. You don't need to prove anything to your friends. You don't need to explain who you are and what your condition is to anybody. Who loves you genuinely will know how to deal with you. You need to have that
100%.
intent. So I just believe that if they have the awareness and the exposure to come on here or know that there is something they can do to give back to the community or for themselves, because I'm ready to go all out for my son, because not just my son, growing up I've always said if I can come to this country and study two master's degree and finish my graduation and get my certificate, and nobody else on this planet has an excuse, you can do it. It's not going to be easy. There are days I couldn't go to school. The school will call me, but they're very supportive. But you will have people, unexpected support you didn't even think you would get from the people you will imagine it you will get it from. Because I know God is watching your back, and if you take a step, God just wants you to get up. He just wants you to get up, and He will be there by your side. So they should get up, remove every, you know, thing in their mind telling them, I can't do this. You can. You are smart enough. You're intelligent enough. The people making it don't have double heads. They don't have four eyes. They don't have four ears. The same people, I have the same quality system. So if they can do it, I can do it. So I believe people should come on here, be bold, love yourself. Don't let anybody tell you who you are. Tell them who you are and what you're capable of. Come on here, take the opportunity that is being given, because the opportunity is there. They just want to see more people like us doing our thing without being relying on employer, because the rules and regulation, to an extent, it doesn't favor us, because not every law of an organization, they use the same measure to measure everyone, and that's not how it's supposed to be. So I don't want to be in that kind of situation where I have to worry on how to feed, to put food in my mouth. So I'm happy, and I'm very glad that I've been given this opportunity, to do something for myself. I've always wanted to have my own business, and I didn't know what to do. Accounting is not something I enjoy, but I know it.
Yes, yes.
So my last job, I worked as a data analyst for Deloitte, and it's a training position. And after that, I realized I don't want to work for the company, because it will not. Is I love data analysis. It gives me opportunity to learn something else, and it's different on a daily basis. Interesting. Accounting, I go to sleep, I see numbers and stuff, but it's something I know. So why throw away skill that I've acquired over the years because I don't like it? It puts food on my table, so I better make use of it and enhance on it and do study more. I like to study because with the medications you take, and people think with disabled people, we are okay most of the time, but it is draining mentally when you have to be sick on a regular basis, or you have to be explaining to people regular basis.
Again.
Sometimes you're sick, you just want to lay down. Then you have your son who is just coming and jumping up on you. Get up, mommy, I want to do this. And you are in bloody crisis mode. You know, it's a lot. So I need a space where I can just do my thing. And when I'm working, it's me doing my thing. I can be on that computer for hours and I won't know I'm there, because it's not every day I can be on the computer. So the time I can be on there, I make use of it effectively. It can be some days I can go a whole week and not do a work, but I do not miss a deadline. I do not, if my client says, I want this by Monday, or I want it at the end of the month, I make sure I might not work from, I perform effectively well under pressure. I don't know why. I think it's a gift. But under pressure is when I do my good stuff comes out. So I'm grateful to God for that, But I would, it would be really nice to see a lot of disabled people use this platform, take up the opportunity and start to do something for themselves. They might come and not make money in the first few months. They might not even make money for years. They might not have any client, but it's yours. Gradually, gradually, you will get to where you want to go. And it's not about having 10 clients. It's not about having five. You might have just one or two clients. It serves my purpose. It pays my bills. It do me more. I want to be able to reach out to people with disability, especially with sickle cell anemia. It is okay. When I was younger, I used to blame my father and my mom a lot. because in those days they didn't check genotype, and in the whole family, just me, which is also another miracle because out of every three children, if you're unlucky, two of your children will have sickle cell anemia. But it's just me, and I'd say I'm the lucky one in the family. And my family is, when I mean extremely supportive, they would give an arm and leg for me, you know. But sometimes you tell yourself, this is too much. I want to be by myself. And I took that bold step when I was 29, 30 years old to leave everything I knew to go to a different city completely, where it's just me and me alone. I have to book my appointment. I had to study my health. I had to know what is good for me and what is not. If when I like cold stuff, but sickle cell does not work with cold things. So I know when to take cold things. I know when not to. Some people with sickle cell, they can't take cold things at any time of the year because if they do, in few hours time, they can be in the hospital. I get really hot. So during the summer, I'm allowed, my body permits me. I won't say I'm allowed, my body allows me to, but to an extent, depending on my immune system, if I'm strong. If I'm not strong, I can't take too much of cold stuff. But during the winter, it's a no. If I haven't have a sip of it, that's me ending up in the hospital, you know. And I know a lot of people with sickle cell don't want to come out to do these things. They don't want to give that because they are afraid of cut out a routine for themselves that works. So anything that makes them go out of that routine is a struggle. You have to re-strategize all over again. But it is worth it. I'm telling you, it's worth it. I've met amazing people over the years because sometimes I go to the hospital when they have these conferences to talk about sickle cell. They do the research online, but they have chosen to do these conferences with those living with sickle cell coming to talk to the doctors and the nurses to how individually I'm managing my condition. And I'm 44, and I'm proud to say I'm 44. I might not have the energy, I might not have the strength, but I have the mind. I have the strict. I have the strength, not physical strength, but I have the mental strength to say I will do this no matter how long it takes me. I'm not running a race with anyone. I'm not competing with anybody. I'm not competing with my friends. I'm not competing. I think maybe because I'm so laid back, and it offends a lot of people. It does offend a lot of people. And I've been told you have all this health condition. Why are you smiling? Someone who should be at your corner, someone who has said, I am here to love you, is telling you things like that. And you should know your journey is not there, it's somewhere else. If someone can tell you, this is someone with no health condition telling you you have a lot going, why are you smiling? What is good about the morning? I said, being alive enough is good for me. And I'm happy today. And one thing that lifts my spirit up when I'm down, because no matter how strong you get, you know you have people in your corner motivating you, but sometimes you don't want to hear those motivations. That is why it is you. You need to motivate yourself. And parents, in as much as they're trying, they can also be scared. So you can have a bit of limitation on that part, not because they don't want you to do it, because they're afraid of the stress you are going to go through, and as a result of that, stressing them as well. So you're not only thinking of yourself, you're thinking of the people around you, what you falling ill will do to them, you know. So they take a back seat. But I'm telling them today, don't take a back seat. Step up, look for accessibility partners, have access to work so you can set up something for yourself that give you a bit of peace. Like you said, the world is running a race, and I'm not running that race with the world. People sometimes are forgetting basic human decency. You see all over the place, people are in trouble. Social media have taken over. Instead of them helping, they are taking videos, recording for social media content. The world has gotten to that, and it's going to get worse. I'm not chasing, that's not what I'm chasing. I'm chasing me. I'm chasing the future that people like me can live in peace. Where we have to go to hospital, they don't keep me on hospital bed for 8 hours unattended to because they don't believe I'm having pain. That is not the world I want to be in. So if we don't come out, speak for ourselves, do the things we are meant to do, prove to people that we can do it. We are better than you. Someone has told me before, do you think you're better than me? I said, yes. When I think about it, I think I am.
I agree. Right. That's why we call our entrepreneurs entrepreneurs, because just to go to the toilet on a morning can take many of my spinally injured clients who are wheelchair bound hours. It can be a 2 hour job. Now, if you've got to add, blood transfusions and monitoring and hospitalization and regular appointments and medication and toileting and help in the shower and difficulty cooking and difficulty swallowing or eating or drinking, right? Or breathing. Yeah. Actually, let all those people have trouble with any of that and see how they do. So I agree with you
Yeah.
100%. And by the way, I have to say that it is quite obvious that you go to hospitals and speak about sickle cell. And I am grateful for your voice. And I'm grateful to be showing the world your voice today. The other thing is that not only do they need to contact accessibility partners, but those people who are already with accessibility partners, and
Yes.
this will be on our website, need to contact you. That's the thing, because not only do they need to contact me about the fact that they don't want to deal with their finance, because there's no point in telling me, because I'm really not going to do anything about it on account of the fact that I don't even book my own appointments, as I said. Otherwise, I will be on the wrong day at the wrong time in the wrong place for the wrong event. And in fact, I came to Birmingham, and it was the only appointment, the only email that I didn't share with my personal assistant, who I get help with through Access to Work. And thank the Lord I do, because if I didn't, I'd do what I did with Birmingham a few weeks ago. And what I did was I got two emails. I got an email with two dates in, one for the results of my exams that
Yeah.
had moved, and one for my appointment to come to my placement. And I diarised the wrong one on the wrong day. So I arrived to my placement appointment one day late, and my results came out today. So unfortunately, we need each other. We're better together. I
We
always
do.
say it's because
Yes. We
I'm a
have
bit
it.
rubbish.
Yeah.
I'm a bit rubbish on my own. But for so what I mean, we've only got literally 13 minutes, and I have a magic question at the end. But before I ask you the magic question, which I ask everybody, and so even though this has been a bit of a rogue interview, in that I've asked you none of the questions we were planning on asking, I wasn't planning on
It's
sitting
okay.
outside a hotel, and I
Yeah.
certainly didn't think I would only be with 1 minute to go for First Friday Live at 5. But as you say, under pressure, I am phenomenal. Put me in a war zone, and I'm happy. Sit me with 15 hours to do something, and I'll do it in the last half an hour. Seriously, I need this. I always say to my students, I was a teacher in higher education for 15 years, and I always said to my student, I know what you are. You're the one that needs the firing squad coming at the door, knocking, ready to put you against the wall. Well, I'm going to send the firing squad to you right now, so you get on with it. But so I know that about me. I know I'm good under pressure, and I think know thyself, as you've alluded to. As you've mentioned, you are in no race with anyone. You are in a race with you, and the race is into your heart and into your soul and into your peace and into your realization of who you are already born to be. I always say to people, when they say, well, I haven't got this and I haven't got that and I haven't got the other, and what about this? I say, listen, you were made fearfully and
Yeah.
beautifully, and you have everything within you. You just have to unpack it now and see
Yeah.
what you're going to do with it. We were born with everything we've ever needed, including our disabilities, including our challenges, including our losses, including the things that we thought we should have because of the other people did and we didn't. Like the nine other brothers and sisters, which I didn't have. Thank you, God. I'm going to say thank you all night for not having 10 children around me. I'm not sure. I think I'd have hidden under the bed and lived in the corner going, you're all right. You just carry on doing that. I'll be over here. I think it was good that there was only two of us. But I also have that desire for community, for family, for togetherness, for loving one another, because as I say, I think it is in reflection of others, and especially our children, that we know ourselves even more deeply.
Yeah.
You know, The same as in reflection, in meditation, in prayer, however people want to talk about it. You know, my faith, I've always known who God was before I knew his name. I've never had a problem with faith. People say, oh, you know, you have a strong faith. No, 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 I was born this way. I'm very fortunate to have never needed faith because I
Yeah.
already was it. Um,
Yeah.
but so I think that that strong essence is important. But what we really need to know before the magic question, and I might be just building this question up a bit too much now, but how do my clients, your clients, the world at large, those people who don't like numbers, who don't want to do the stuff that you do. And by the way, right, I love coping strategy support. Do I enjoy filling in a personal independence form? No, I don't.
No,
Do I enjoy an employment support allowance form? No, I
no,
don't. Do I enjoy filling in a health ombudsman form when access to work have been naughty? No, I don't. Do I like writing reconsideration letters? Not really, when they haven't given people what they need to do their job. No, I don't. But you know what? What I love is the outcome. And I think that anyone that comes to you, as far as I'm concerned, will have somebody on their side that is honest, open, straight up, will be great against the clock, which is always good in accounting because HMRC can be monkeys, and able to show them how to be there and do what's needed. So how do we get in touch with you? Apart from, of course, I've already got your number because I'm special.
yeah, I don't really, I have social media, but I don't really, I go there as a spy, I think.
I love
I
that.
just, I just go there to, when I'm in pain and something, I like quiet and music and something to make me laugh. So I go there for the laughs. I don't post much. I post now and again. So I have a LinkedIn profile. I have
Perfect.
Facebook profile, Instagram profile, TikTok. I might not be active, but I know what is going on around the world. So people can reach out to me on there.
And they can of course reach out to me. And if they want to reach out to me, they just need to go to
Yeah,
www.a, that's the beginning of the alphabet. Even I know
yeah,
that. Number two, which is
yeah.
not difficult because it's the second number. W for work, W dot me. Access to work me. A2W dot me. Access to work me. You can't forget that. You remember it's the beginning of the alphabet. It's the second number because it's two, and then W for, I don't know, window. That'll do. Uh, dot me. Access to work me. And if you want to know this beautiful lady and you want your books doing because actually they're a pain in your buttski, and actually you don't want to do them because who the hell does? I mean, apart from you. Uh, um, then you've got to reach out to me. And for all of those who are my clients who haven't done their annual return, they've got all their receipts in an envelope somewhere in the back of their car, or
I can
they're sitting there
do.
going, I don't know what Excel is and I can't do QuickBooks and I've got something
I
on my
do.
Anna Bank, but I don't know what the hell that means either. And who's HMRC and how do I ring them? And I daren't because the VAT man's going to eat me. You know, don't be scared. Don't be scared because you've got this amazing lady in your corner. And imagine HMRC against this lady. Well, I wouldn't pitch against you, I tell you. And I can't imagine HMRC daring to either. So if you need your books, some advice, some guidance, book some sessions, know what our prices are, just engage her as your accountant, like frankly. If I was you, I would. And I'm certainly going to refer people to you. I've got a couple of people who are already coming to mind. And like I said, what's really beautiful for me tonight is that I feel like I've got to know you even more than ever before. So I am on social media. I'm everywhere. I'm on YouTube. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Twitch. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Clubhouse. I mean, literally, YouTube. I'm everywhere, I think. And the reason I am is because you're right. You didn't know about this. I didn't know about this once. And most big employers, if you're a large employer out there, if you are Rolls Royce, if you are, I don't know, Santander, I really don't mind how big you are. I am yet to find any organization that understands the subtleties, the nuances, the process, the praxis, the ways to help your employees stay at work. And remember, people, that attrition costs a fortune. When people leave your employ and you've got to replace them, well, look, you've just wasted all of that money in training and time. And if you've got disabled people in your organization, celebrate, because in a minute, and it's not long now, you will have to have disabled people in your organization, and you will have to count how many disabled people you have. And furthermore, you will have to count how many you've got at the top table, those at the directorship, those in top management. And let me just say now, most of you won't have many. Yes, Laifa, go for it.
I wanted to add something to that as well. Sometimes they employ people and they want you to meet a target. What they fail to realize is they need to not there is always someone better than you. There is always someone who will be better at the job than you are. But you have a strong side. What the companies fail to do, they are supposed to sit down their team and take the sides, the good aspect of each of their employee to work as a team to attain a goal. Not making everyone fight for one position when you know it's only one person that will be allowed that position. Taking their strength. Don't give the same tax to tax A and tax B and see who comes out first because that might not be A or B strong suit. Look for their
100%.
strong suit, what they are good at, and harness that gift and use it to the advantage of the company, whether they are disabled or not. Don't write them off because they are disabled, or don't say, oh, we only employ them because we need to obey the rules and regulation for some reason. Do it proper. Do it proper. They're human beings. We are human beings. We
We
have
are.
brains. We are smart. We're intelligent. When I was working at Deloitte and one of the managers asked me, what are you doing here? You shouldn't be here based on your qualification. But I was looking for the experience at the time and I got it. But that's what the companies are failing to do. If they realize that and do exactly harnessing their gift, individual gift, the companies will succeed better.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Do you know what? I think you and I should be doing a weekly podcast just for companies to tell them how to sort themselves out. As you say, people don't listen, but I think they will to us. Right. We have only got, can you even believe it? We only have 3 minutes. I mean, how did that happen? Literally, I've just arrived. It feels like we've been on about 10 seconds. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how fast this has gone, but time is subjective. Don't you know that? I'm sure you do that when you're doing something you hate, and I believe that when you do what you love and you love what you do, you never do a day's work in your life. And I
Yeah.
certainly don't, because, like you say, the hours disappear. You don't realize what you're doing, how long it's taking, and it's just joy. It takes just a second. But if you're miserable and you hate what you're doing, then it can take forever, just an hour. I know.
Yeah.
I've just written a dissertation.
You don't
um,
want to be miserable for the rest of your life or the time you
no,
have. Life is too short. Take a
it
bold
is.
step. Do that thing that makes you happy. It might not be financially liable to someone else's ear. It might not be good enough to provide, but start somewhere and trust me, you'll get there. I almost didn't want to show up today. When I saw the day, it's today Friday. My son don't like anyone else taking him to his stuff. He's very active. He has an active schedule. He's busy from Monday to Saturday, and today is football. And I'm the only one who takes him for football. And it's the same time. And I said, Uncle, your uncle will take you today, which is my brother. And he said, why is my uncle taking me? It's always you. Why can't you take me? And he threw a tantrum. So I sat him down and told him, mommy, I have sickle cell. Yeah, mommy need to talk about things like this now and again. Sometimes it's not only you that need to have mommy, other people need to have mommy as well. He didn't like it, but he had no choice. I said, if you don't want to go, it's fine. You can sit at home. And I know my son, he's not going to sit at home for no reason and not go to football. He loves his activity, he loves his swimming, he loves his coding, he loves everything he does. So he had to go and told me, can you come meet us there when you're done? I said, I will give it a go. Hmm? I know I can't make it because it's done by 6 o'clock. I will be back home, but I had hospital as well. So on a normal day, I would have cancelled, but I told myself I'm not going to do that. And I made the hospital aware that I can't do that. I've commit myself into this, so we have to do something about it. And So they
So
said,
great.
they start coming.
And here
So
we are.
I sorted, and here we are today. And I am so
Thank
happy
you.
being here.
Thank you.
Very
And
much.
so am I. I'm grateful to you for your time. We literally have a minute left. And I know you're going to be able to answer this question. If you had a magic wand, and I have two, so I could always lend you one, what would you do with it if you had 5 minutes and a magic wand? What would you wish for?
Generally, or health wise, or
You
professional
can,
wise,
it's your magic wand.
work
You can ask for
wise,
anything you want. You can ask for a donut if you like.
I think I would want to see where hospital staff, doctors, nurses treat us differently, and see
100%.
see five sickle cell people there and treat those five differently, because what works for me doesn't work for the next. There is a certain treatment you give to me, I will stay in the hospital for 3 days. And there is a certain treatment you give to me, I stay in the hospital for 2 weeks. And the more I stay in the hospital, the more my immune system dies. So it doesn't work for the other person the way. I would like them to see us as human beings and not see us as people who scream, and listen more and make policies that we reflect that. Employers should make policies and say, oh, if we employ people, this is what we do. Yeah, but you need to treat individual people on an individual basis based on their strengths, their weaknesses, and their challenges.
You know what? We shouldn't need a magic wand for that. What we need is good social workers and people who speak up with disabilities. And funnily enough, we've got a couple here. So I think we're on our way to that being a reality. Right. Well, I'm going to say goodbye to everyone that is already on social media, those that listen to it afterwards, those that come every month. I want to say thank you to you. I think you've had a treat tonight. I think we've had a treat tonight. I've certainly had a treat. It is a brilliant start to my weekend. I hope you have the most fantastic weekend, Laifa. And I'm going to end this live with I love you. I'm grateful for
I love
you. And
you.
I'm looking forward to everyone that works with you and me and us, because we're just better together, folks. So have a beautiful weekend, everyone. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye. Bye.